say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now. Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Oh, hello, Mrs. Farmer. How are you today?
I'm very good.
You're ravishing as usual.
Thank you.
You know what? Today we got a widely varied show. Now, we were off a week because my mother was in the hospital.
That's right.
We want to thank everybody for the prayers. She's feeling much better, and we have to thank the folks in Danville. Right. I'm telling you what. Now, we've got a widely varied show today. We haven't been around the farm for a while, so we're going to tell you what's going on. Now, on our farm, this is a real working farm. We don't have a huge amount of acreage, but just like some people grow a garden, we grow our own meat. We're going to talk about the next step of our sheep, the next step of our calves, and we're going to talk with some other folks who just might have the freshest seafood. So we're going to visit him in a minute, but first, let's talk about the sheep. Okay. Now, for the first time, we're actually, Miss Greek Nikki,
ready to eat some sheep.
From the Calacarinas family. She introduced me to lamb. I'd had it before, but I didn't like the way it was fixed. We fix it our way now, and we really enjoy it.
It's our favorite.
So we are going to have our first lambs taken in, but I need to know a little bit more detail about getting them ready for that process. So here's Kelly Yates, our friend, to tell us more about that. Kelly Yates is back. We're going to talk about sheep today. Now, we had our original 3 girls, Mavis, Milkweed, and Myrtle. All right, now out of them, all of a sudden we've got all these sheep out here. What happened?
Well, you know, 5 months, 150 days after they meet that boy, they can.
But you can really build up a flock fairly quickly. And I mean, we've already talked about all the things you have to watch out for. The Katahdins, I think, are a very good breed for around here, and that's why we chose them with your guidance and talking to Beth and everybody. So we're to the point now where our old girls will die of old age here because we scratch their ears and stuff like that.
It'll be a little while, though.
It'll be a little while.
You'll get some more babies out of them.
We'll get some more babies, but they're our friends. Now, we are realists. We live on a farm. We will consume some sheep. Now, the babies are 5 or 6 months old. And if I wanted to continue rotating them and letting them get all the, it's still going to take a long while. So it's no problem to start beefing them up a little bit?
No, I would beef them up. Here's the thing about Katahdins, they are a smaller frame sheep.
Right.
So it takes a while to get that muscle development on them. Now you can do it on forage, but it could take you over a year. Right. Once you go over a year, it's not lamb anymore. You're going to start getting that mutton deal going on. Yeah. So my recommendation is always to supplement that. So give them some feed. And you can feed them up to 2% of their body weight a day, but that's something that you've got to work up with because you'll make them sick if you give it to them all at one time.
So what is that? What kind of sick do they get when if you feed them too much?
Well, you could kill them for one.
That's not the kind of thing
you don't want to do that. You have to think about sheep or the ruminants. When you start giving them corn or some kind of a grain supplement, it changes the bacteria inside of their gut. Sometimes it can kill the bacteria in their gut, which makes them good ruminants, good forage converters. And so that's the process you have to go through, is that you have to build up kind of the resistance in their bodies for that. Now you'll vaccinate for that because you'll give them your CDTs. So you'll do that 3 times, right? You'll do it at 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and 12 weeks is a good roundabout time to do that. So the CDTs will help you on that to try to eliminate that overeating disease that they'll have.
Because we spoil them, they get some corn every other day.
Right.
With their mineral. We put that in with it and let them get whatever they want.
Okay.
Now,
So is that a help that they already introduced to corn to some degree?
That will help some, yes. What you'll want to do is, since they're old enough, like you can actually wean somewhere between 60 and 75 days.
Gotcha.
So you can go ahead and wean them off, and you can just kick those moms off that corn altogether, because you're not really doing them any favors at this point. So you don't want them to get bred right now. You know, you're probably, well, it depends on when you want to go to your processor, but you're going to want to breed them in the fall. That's usually the most time that they're fertile. So you're just going to want to put those girls on vacation. Just put them on some grass.
Let them chill.
Let them chill. Let them enjoy not having those babies following them around. You know, it's like going to the grocery store without your kids. So put them on vacation, and then you're going to put these babies off and you're going to feed them. Okay. So I would still rotate them around and keep them on forage, but I would give them some grain supplement. So you're going to want to feed something that's at least 16% protein, and you're going to have a good energy balance on there, because they're still growing and you're trying to create meat at the same time. So you're going to have to offset their natural growth rate in order to get that meat on them.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So one of the bigger ones, what do you say that it might weigh right now?
Surely, hopefully they're at least 65 to 70 pounds.
Okay,
at
and
this
what do
point.
we want?
Okay, well here's the other aspect of this. So since you're trying to be sustainable, and obviously I don't think you're going to produce all the lamb that you're going to eat years. I know you're pretty big lamb eaters. That's a good deal. I know I eat a lot. But if you got to that point, this is the things that you have to consider. So Katahdins, they're going to hit their peak in size between 100 and 120 pounds.
Oh wow.
Now because you're going to be giving them feed, you're going to want to put this breed to the max of their potential, right, to make it worth your money, okay?
Gotcha.
So let's say that you shoot for 100 pounds, that's the easy numbers, okay? I would go higher than that. But if you go to 100 pounds and you get that animal processed, you will probably walk out with like 35 pounds of meat from the processor.
Gotcha.
So you have to keep that in mind. You have to decide how much meat you want, you got to figure out how many head that you have, and then just decide which works best for you.
See, that's good information, because right now I look at things a little bit differently than I did a while back. This is for us. We're not selling this meat. We're not trying to get rid of using it for ourselves.
Right. And the other thing you have to keep in mind is think about how much your processor is going to charge you, like your kill fee and your processing fee on that too. So literally put the pencil to the paper, calculate how much feed it is, how much your processing is, and again, that would probably help you figure out what poundage you want them to get to so that you feel comfortable spending that kind of money. I mean, if you've done it and you spent $20 a pound, it's probably not the most optimum, sustainable way to go. You may just want to buy that lamb and move on with your life.
But to some people, it's very important. Now, the great thing about Kentucky now and what's going on here in Kentucky with Kentucky Pride and knowing where your stuff comes from, I can go to our favorite store and I can find Jim's product over here, or I know the first name of the person, I've talked with them. We know what they're doing. That's great.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Now, also saying that, here we are right here. If I wanted to, if it was worth it to me to know that there are sheep, when I raise my cattle, it's not to save money.
No, no.
When I raise my calves,
won't save money raising them on your own. No.
I am not trying to. I am trying to make them exactly, engineer them for what I want for my freezer.
Right.
At 700 pounds, boom, they're gone.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Still on milk, best alfalfa I can afford, some sweet feed, so on and so forth.
You throw that alfalfa on these sheep over here and they'll go crazy. I mean, that's a high protein level right there.
My question to you is, where can I find some quality alfalfa right now?
Okay, Kentucky Department of Ag has a hay forage testing department. And people will sell hay through that department, but the hay is tested. So you can actually analyze that hay test and you can compare that to your feed ration. So the key is to feed as much hay as you can and then supplement with your grain, because the grain is expensive. So you can go to that website and find some really good hay sources.
Well, I'm telling you what, we're having so much fun here, and with folks like you who know your stuff and can come in every now and then. I know you're busy like crazy, but every now and then can come in and share information with us and our viewers. I want to thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you.
Very informative.
See you. All right.
You hungry, Mrs. Farmer?
I'm always starving. Why do you think I'm here?
You always like seafood, don't you?
I do love seafood.
You know what? We're going to fix something today that's a little bit unusual, but this is amberjack.
Okay.
That came up fresh. Now we're going to talk to you guys. We're actually going to go to Bardstown to one of the stores. They have one in Elizabethtown as well. They have one out in Western Kentucky as well.
Okay.
Fresh seafood in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm on
board. Wonderful.
Once they found out you could blacken redfish, it really kind of took off. Of course, you could blacken that cutting board right there and it tastes pretty good.
You think?
Yeah.
You can try that. I don't want that.
But amberjack, a lot of questions about, do you eat it, do you not?
Right.
Let me tell you what, once you cook it and once you get it nice and flaky, it's white and firm. If you do it right, it's going to taste kind of like grouper. Now we're going to get this thing started. Now let's remember about fish, okay? If you're doing a big chunk of fish like this, let's figure it minimum 445 degrees on your grill. Let's talk about thickness. That's about 2 inches. So let's do 10 minutes per inch.
Okay.
This guy's got to go about 20 minutes. That's a big honking hunk of fish. Any fish you get out of the ocean, not any fish, but some fish are more susceptible to others. There might be some worms. If you freeze it, you won't have any problems. If you do find some worms, cut it out. In Gulf of Mexico, there's going to be some worms in amberjack and sometimes in your grouper. So just look for them. If you find them, pull them out. Now, what we're going to do, remember, hot grill to start off with. Put a little bit of, make sure every little crust and crumb is off of your grill so this won't stick. We're going to start this side down. We've taken some Tony's and put a bunch of there on that. Here's the first process. We're going to put this down on this side first just to really get a nice firm seal on that. Then we're going to come back and put some of this in. Where did we get this idea? Bardstown. Let's go to Bardstown. Today we're in Bardstown, and that's not the only store this cat has got. This is Barry Collier. Now, the first thing I found out about you was from Facebook.
That's right.
Somebody said, there's a fish truck coming to Frankfurt.
Yes, sir.
What kind of fish, where are they from, how fresh are they, so on and so forth. So I started looking at the reviews.
Yes, sir.
And every one of them were top reviews. So I thought, I'm going to try this. I got to try this because I love my seafood. You know, I like to go down and catch it myself. But by the time I get back, it's already, you know, because I spent a week down there, it's already 10 days old. So I thought, I'm going to try to see how fresh this is. Well, I just got to tell you, best seafood I've had that I didn't catch myself, and it's right up there with it. How did this whole Gulf Coast connection thing begin?
I fished for a living probably 20 years. That's all I really did.
Right.
And about 2 or 3 years ago, started trying to sell them myself. It's a longer process than what it seems like. I can't just catch that fish, throw him in my truck, take him up here. I have to catch that fish, take him to the processor myself. We stand there with them to make sure we get our fish back. Then we got our own reefer truck. We throw our fish back on our reefer truck after they process them. And then we carry them and distribute them to our stores. All our fish are caught in one day. My boat don't even have a cabin or a bathroom on it. And most of our fish are done in 6 or 8 hour days. We catch most of our fish.
So this fish right here was swimming a couple days ago.
Yes, sir.
You said more than likely your daughter caught that one.
My daughter was on the boat with me when we caught that one.
Now, if I walk my eyes to the left, we see crab legs. Now, I know you're not catching them unless you're up there in the Bering Sea. But I mean, you whatever you got's fresh. You got sources for that.
No, the crab legs come in frozen. All your crabs have to be cooked alive. Any kind of crab. You don't ever want a raw, uncooked crab. Most of the crabs are cooked on the boats. And then they're processed there, and then they fly them all over.
Where's your lobster from?
These lobster right here are warm water tails. We get them, sometimes they come from the Keys, sometimes they come from Costa Rica. Just depends. I like the flavor of a rock lobster.
I do too.
But to me, it's a lot better.
I actually like.
I'm not big on a cold water lobster.
I like diving for them. So you got, but right here is all you. The fishing part is what you catch. Your snapper the other day was ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
Well, you got an amberjack back here,
yes, sir.
Now let's talk a little bit about the amberjack. Now
yes,
I fished for them back in the day.
Right.
Oh, that ain't worth eating. They throw it back. What has changed?
I don't know if it's the different ways people cook it now or what, but the season's very short on them. We get a season in January and February, then it closes down because they spawn in March, April, and May. Then it opens back up in June, but there's usually not much quota left for us to catch.
So it's kind of like some fish around here, some stripers and stuff. Cut the red meat out and you're good to go.
It does have red meat on the skin. I think if you was to take it and fry it, it probably wouldn't be very good if you take it off. But amberjack's a good bit cheaper than snapper whole.
Right.
But once you clean, you can take that snapper and clean it and use the whole thing. On that one, you got to cut so much meat off of him that isn't that good, to where whenever we give you the good piece, the finished product costs about the same as a snapper.
But it's good stuff.
Yes, sir. It's very good. Smoked, grilled, baked.
As we go on over, we see assorted shrimp, and that's all coming from
all Bayou Battery, Alabama.
Gotcha. Then we got our crayfish over here.
Those come from Pierre Port, Louisiana.
Then I see some smoked tuna dip.
Yes, sir.
Which I'm going to have to try because that's right up Nikki's alley. She's got to try that. And that's you actually fish for some of those fish to,
we do fish
to
for
provide
tuna.
For that outfit.
We do fish for tuna. I haven't done it much lately because we got our hands full in this. But in the past, we caught a lot of tuna that we sold to that guy. He made the tuna dip, sold it back to us.
That is so cool. Now,
it's fresh smoked.
Where are your locations at? Tell us exactly where your locations are.
We got one in Paducah, Kentucky, 3250 Lone Oak Road. Elizabethtown, Kentucky, 321 South Mulberry Street, 1482 Boston Road for this one.
Now today, because I have fished for amberjack and I have eaten it in a restaurant, sometimes mistakes or a lack of having certain things leads to some good recipes. How did you find out the best recipe for this amberjack?
We were out one time and we broke out the grill and we cleaned the fish and we realized we didn't have anything to cook with. We dug around, we found a can of Tony seasoning. I'm sure everybody
You
knows
gotta have
what
some
that
Tony.
is.
We got.
And the guy said, hey man, I've heard this will create a seal. He took mayonnaise and rubbed it all over the fish and rubbed it in good and sprinkled the Tonys on it. I don't know if it's because we were out on the boat and hadn't ate all day or what, but it's the best fish I've ever had, grilled.
We're about to find out exactly what that tastes like because we're going to try exactly. I got a brand new grill I'm kind of proud of. Man, thank you so much. We're going to take a look around if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Now, to me, one of the most important things is to know where your food comes from.
Right.
I know where that fish came from. This came from our favorite store. These are from Casey County. The cheese was made in store. This is off our back porch.
Right.
We're gonna make a Caprese salad. Easiest thing in the world, but so easy, so delicious. Go ahead and put one together for me, Mrs.
Alrighty.
Farmer.
That was Lauren's idea. Remember, she told us.
Flies want some too.
She told us to make these. So simple. Here's a little piece of basil.
Boom. You know, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put just a little bit of fresh ground pepper. I think this is from Gary. Thank you, Gary. Balsamic vinegar.
Yum.
Maybe a little bit of olive oil. So just like that, you got yourself
There's
a
our
tasty little
snack.
treat. Hand me a fork. Let's split this.
Alrighty.
So as we wait on
That's
our
so big.
fish. Oh.
Wow. Can I steal that?
Hey, that was mine. Yes, of course you can have this one. That's our little appetizer. I'm gonna check our fish here in a minute.
Fresh cheese. That's really good.
Miss Farmer, you want to peek?
I do want to peek. Oh,
Good.
wow.
Hit that. Smell that.
Wow. Is it done?
Smell that. It's getting close. We got
smells
another
delicious.
probably 7 minutes. Let's put it back
Okay.
down. Today, we're going to talk about the next step in our cattle.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people may say, oh my goodness, but every time Bob Barker says spay and neuter your pets, the same thing happens.
Right.
Now, that's what's happening today. We're not going to show that graphic process. If you're a farmer or you're a beginning farmer and you want to see how that actually works, we'll have a more graphic show that you can see on YouTube.
Right.
But we're going to visit with Todd. Todd Horn came back over, saw the cattle, was impressed, and he's going to explain why we take this step. Todd is back. Now we're on first name basis, but it's Todd Horn, for those of you who haven't seen him on the show. He is our cow guru. You gave me a bad disease. Now once I processed my own beef,
Right.
I was messed up. I've never had any meat like that. Now we took it like that, almost 700 pounds, because it's just Nikki and I.
Right.
And you gave me that choice. You said, why don't you try that? And I did. I was like, whoa. So, first of all, tell what part of the country you're from.
Down from Casey County.
Casey County.
Yep.
You got some good friends down there?
Got some good friends. One of the fellow ran into a fellow today. I told him that I was coming up this way to do a little calf work maybe with you this evening, and he said we watch all his shows.
What's his name?
Gerald Emerson.
Gerald Emerson from?
Down in Liberty.
We want to say hi, Gerald.
Yep. His whole crew. And let me tell you about another one, another
right.
fella from Berea, a good
Okay.
friend of my brother Scott, who helped do a little fencing around here. George Goodrich.
George Goodrich.
Yeah. Need to.
What up?
Yeah. He'll get a kick out of that.
Now, you haven't been here in a while.
Right.
You're busy, I'm busy, we've been running like crazy. Nikki's been spoiling her, giving her apples, and
She's looking
they've
good.
kind of gone through this field, and we're still supplying some good hay. And we're starting to, once the young ones started eating the sweet feed, we started giving it to them. Now tell me what you think from the looks
Sure.
of things are happening and what I need to do from here.
Okay, so the last time I was here, we grafted the little Jersey calf
Right.
on with Maybelle, as you call her,
Right.
her natural born calf. So now you've got two calves nursing this one cow.
Right.
I was apprehensive to see Maybelle's body condition. I know you're not acreage-wise. You've got, you know, maybe 2 acres here or so, something like that. Was hoping that she would be carrying her weight well, and she is. She looks very good, so kudos on that. Then, flip side, looking at the calves. Calves look great, very rounded, just super excited, and they're at that point now that I think with the sweet feed that you're going to see them take off. You're going to go on a little trip or something one of these days. You're going to come home and look like they gained 100 pounds.
All right, now what's the difference between the meat?
Okay.
Now, this is the interesting thing. A lot of people that I talk to really think the Jersey meat is absolutely wonderful, but they don't have that big frame.
Sure, that's right. The Jersey breed is designed to make milk, not meat. Dairy farmers do not want to walk out and see their dairy cows just loaded with muscle. That's not their design purpose. Their design purpose is to make milk. So everything they consume is going towards milk. He can't help it that he came out a boy. And so it's still in his genetics to be thinking that way. But with the procedures we're going to do today, we are going to get him to start putting on a little more fat, which you know from the cooking side of things is what makes steak taste great.
What do you call that procedure?
Castration.
Castration. Now what does that actually do, and what happens, and what point does that need to be done?
So the people that's watching the show that may not understand the farming side of things, a lot of people spay and neuter their dogs.
Right.
What's one of the things that happens to a spayed or neutered dog? They typically get lazy and they get fat. But it also, Tim, on the marbling side of things, which is how the fat gets laid down in the muscle, it pushes more of that direction on the meat side of things. So I think I told you I killed an 1,190 pound Jersey, and just the meat almost looked white. Of course, when you grill it on the grill, the fat kind of cooks off, but there's still enough of it caught in there that the flavor's just, it's out of this world. So I would be excited if you would
do a comparison.
Yes,
we absolutely will do that. Now we're going to take and we're going to sell half of this calf.
Okay.
And we're going to keep half of that calf.
All right.
We're going to sell half of that calf and we're going to keep. So we're going to be able to do that comparison.
Right.
Now, what steps are you going to take today?
So we've got a couple shots we need to give them. One is for blackleg,
which is?
It's a disease they can get, and they can, I think, pick it up from the ground, and it's just a vaccination. And then the second shot will be a respiratory. IBR is what a lot of farmers call it, but it covers sometimes as many as 7 or 9 different viruses in that one inoculation. Your little Jersey, you'll see he's got some little nubs of horns there. Mm-hmm. Those horns aren't even attached. Right. Okay, you can actually take your thumb, and I'll show you this whenever we get him caught there. You can wiggle them around.
Gotcha.
So we're just going to take a pair of, it's like a big pair of fingernail clippers.
He's going to get his fingernails clipped.
He's going to get his fingernails clipped.
Okay.
And so we're going to do that to him, and then do the castration on him. And then I'm also, while we're here, we're going to go ahead and give him a pour-on dewormer.
Right.
Because you don't want to be buying feed, and that's all the hay up here next to the road where you were feeding them. You don't want to be putting that feed in there, and then those parasites, roundworms and stomach worms, those type things, be taking their potential of converting every ounce of feed that they eat to a pound of meat.
Oh wow!
So that's what you're doing when you deworm them. You're basically taking those parasites, getting them out of their system, so that you get a better conversion on the feed side of things.
I really, when you think about these sort of things, I really thought this was going to be a lot more bawling, hollering, squalling. This was not a terribly tough process. Of course, you've done this a gazillion times.
Right.
So I guess my expectations wasn't exactly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Sure. We restrained the animals so they couldn't get hurt, and kept us protected as well. It goes pretty slick most of the time.
Of course, it wasn't me that was behind the fence, so I guess that's pretty easy for me to say.
But you helped. You helped hold things under control there.
I'm putting in comparison what happened to them.
Didn't
happen to me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Man, you are the man. You're the cow dude.
No, just a farmer. So
well, thank you so much, and thanks for sharing with our viewers what goes on in the cattle world.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Look at that, Mrs. Farmer.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm gonna be very careful.
Wow.
All right, Miss Farmer, I'm going to give you I'm going to find like the perfect piece for you.
Okay.
I'm going to get you a little bit of this. Now look how firm this is. Look how that
Oh, wow.
flakes. All right, and we left enough moisture in there. I'm going to give you some of this where you got some
Thank
taste on
you.
the top there. See, there's still moisture in there.
Really good.
Ooh, I want some more of that. But first, let's talk about recipes. If you wanted to look up some more recipes, like the 100 gazillion recipes, where would
That's
you
a
go?
lot. TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com.
If you, by chance, have not become our Facebook friend,
What are you waiting for?
what are you waiting for?
That's right.
What'd you say?
What are you waiting
What
for?
are you waiting for? All you gotta do is hit like and you're our Facebook friend. At this point though,
I wish you'd let me eat.
I'm gonna let you eat.
Okay.
But first we have to say one thing. It's all about
Good times
good friends.
and good eats. Let's eat.
We'll see you next week in a brand new Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.
To order a cookbook, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com. Special thanks to CKY, Canoe, Kentucky, Furniture World Superstore, Housewarmings, Lodge Cast Iron, Tater Knob Pottery and Farm,